This is probably the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life. I've listened to many people questioning Nigel Farage and saying to him, you've got no one who knows how to run a department, you've got no one who's got any experience in the cabinet. People aren't going to be able to throw those accusations at him any longer. The Conservative Party is now dead.
Nadine Dorries, why have you left the Conservative Party?
Well, the Conservative Party left me. My values and my principles are the same today as they have always been. Sadly, those values and principles now more align with Reform than they do with the Conservative Party. The Conservative Party is now dead. And it's proven over the past year, particularly over the summer, that it's unable, frankly incapable of responding to political situations as they arise. You know, the country is in deep and serious trouble. And yet the Conservative Party has no answers to some of the very pressing political issues today. And all summer, we've seen Nigel Farage out there, whether it's been on crime, law and order, illegal immigrants, on a number of issues.
What does the next year hold for Kemi Badenoch?
I think it's going to be very difficult for Kemi Badenoch. I'm very sure that next May, the local elections are going to be probably more damaging than they were last May. I think we'll probably see a situation where there are no Conservative councillors either in Scotland or in Wales, and a diminished number in the UK. I think it will be impossible for Kemi Badenoch to survive.
Would you have stayed in the party if someone else was leader?
If someone else had been leader of the party and the party had behaved as it has over the last 2 years, no, I would still find it very difficult. And let me tell you why. There are more MPs in the Conservative Party who are more aligned towards the Liberal Democrat wing of politics than they are towards Reform. It's both depressing and disappointing how little the Conservative Party has to say.
Was it easy for Nigel Farage to persuade you?
No, this is probably the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life. It's something I've been thinking about for over a year. You know, I and some others predicted exactly what was going to happen at the general election a long time ago. And I think part of the frustration for me is that many MPs in the party and the party leadership seem unable to see themselves, the consequences of their actions and what they do.
Can Reform win a majority in the next election without forming an alliance with the Conservatives?
It'd be very difficult for Nigel Farage to win a majority without some form of accommodation on the right of the political spectrum. You've got Corbyn's party breaking away from Labour. They will align with the Green Party, pro-Gas and independents, possibly the Liberal Democrats. That will split the vote on the left. If the vote on the right goes into a general election also split, that will probably allow Labour in through the middle, or even worse, even the alliance, unholy alliance that Jeremy Corbyn will form. That will be worse than what we have today. I think there are people in Reform who won't want that accommodation, who are still very angry about what happened in 2019, who feel that they weren't appreciated. And honestly, I can say now as a member of Reform, there are a number, and quite a large number of MPs in the Conservative Party that I would not be happy with Reform doing any kind of pact with. If they do it and next time they do it, they would have to do it, I think, a little bit smarter, and they would need something back in return for doing it. And that just wouldn't be a thank you.
What are the chances of Boris Johnson returning to the Tory party?
Well, there's no mechanism for Boris Johnson to return to the Conservative Party. You know, if the leadership, either Rishi Sunak or Kemi Badenoch, wanted him to return to the Conservative Party, he would be there now. They would have made that happen. There was no time when the Conservative Party needed Boris Johnson more than there was just before the last election.
Has Nigel Farage promised you a job in any future government?
There have been no conversations between Nigel Farage and myself along those lines. And I don't believe he should have that conversation with anybody, actually. If anybody wants to come to Reform saying, I want a job at the cabinet table, then I just think it would be wrong for anybody to barter in that way and for Nigel Farage to make promises.
If Nigel Farage has to form a government on his own, does he have enough good people to fill a cabinet?
The way we've been doing things for the past 20 years is clearly not working. And I think it needs to be a complete fresh sweep on how we deliver. Does he need experience when he gets there? Yes, he does, because I believe he will want to deliver from day one. And I think bringing in fresh eyes and new people even people from business who may not even be MPs, which I think may be some of the plans. I think that would be very difficult to deliver from day one.
When do you think the general election will be?
It could be any time within the next 2 years. If our debt on government borrowing continues to rise, we know where this story leads, we know where it ends up. We've seen it before in the 70s. And that's come to a head as a result of the duo, Starmer and Reeves duo. If we don't see some improvement in our economy, then that interest on that debt is going to get worse. And I see a situation where if Keir Starmer tries to force through with Labour MPs a reduction in public spending, reducing the welfare bill, that he's going to have rebellions on a scale we've probably not seen before. If he can't get a finance bill through, then we fall straight into general election territory, because of course the government then has no authority to collect tax revenue.
Who has most to fear from reform, the Tories or Labour?
Both.
Equally?
I mean, the Tories are dead, they're gone. It's a slow and painful death. I'm looking at what they're doing, I'm listening to what they're saying, and I can't believe that people are listening. I'm sure people have switched off because it's just words. When we had the Rwanda plan, we had a way of reducing, of discouraging people from crossing boats in the first place, and then we had a way of dealing with people when they got here. But what we didn't have was the will. There was no will amongst Conservative MPs to make that happen. Nigel Farage not only has the will, he's provided us with the answers as to what he's got to do, he's got a way. He's got both. And that's the difference between Reform and the Conservative Party.
What do you think your friends in the Conservative Party will say to you after you've announced this?
I have no idea. I think they will be disappointed in me. But I wrote 2 books, The Plot and Downfall, about what happened to the Conservative Party and how. And many of my friends in the Conservative Party now contributed to those books. So I think they'll be disappointed, but I think they'll understand.
And do you expect many of them to join you?
Look, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. All I do know is that I've listened to many people questioning Nigel Farage and saying to him, you've got no one who knows how to run a department, you've got no one who's got any experience in the cabinet. People aren't going to be able to throw those accusations at him any longer. And I think that there will be other people with experience who may just think, you know what, this is something we can get behind. It's time for party members also to kind of wake up and smell a coffee. You've been ridden roughshod over time and time again. You've been used and abused. It's time to stop sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the Conservative Party to get its act together. It's time to do something. And I would say that doing something is putting your weight behind Reform.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.